Hey y'all, hey, it's another episode of Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Nate Hinton.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
You know, we blessed to be alive. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. I can't complain.
Hey, the talent is my testimony hat. It's fire though. Hey,
I got
yeah.
you Thursday. You gonna be there Thursday?
Yes.
I got you Thursday.
Hey. You know
You
what
rock
though?
beanies? You rock
Huh?
you rock beanie? You like rock the beanies?
I love beanies, especially for the
I got
wintertime.
you.
Come
Yeah,
through with
yeah.
it.
All right, all right. I got you.
So let's go ahead and get it started, sir. So Nate, can you tell us like your sports story to how you got to where you are in your journey?
Yeah. I started playing basketball when I was young. Um, some on my chin. Oh, that's just the sun. All right. My fault. I started playing basketball when I was young. My older brother. Uh, he started playing, so I just kind of dived right in. Started when I was 3, and just been rocking ever since. It's been a journey: middle school, high school, to getting recruited. Went to Houston, went there for 2 years, and then went undrafted to Dallas, and Dallas, Indiana, Cleveland, Houston, and now I'm in Memphis. So both NBA and G League. So it's been, and then went to OM in or Germany. So it's been a journey. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but I mean, I think now learning, seeing the ups and downs is a beautiful thing to be able to experience everything that I've been able to experience.
Man, you play for. First of all, gotta give Houston Cougars their credit, man,
Shout out
because
to Houston Cougars, man. Shout out to the culture.
it's crazy because like for the past like growing up, like you would hear about Houston Cougars, especially like Hakeem Olajuwon and the five
Yeah,
seven. But for the past few years, the culture they have brought, like you said,
yeah,
especially with college basketball, like going into the far in the tournament. But for you,
yeah.
what was it like to play for Coach Sampson at Houston?
Like, it was amazing. I getting recruited by them, like they was telling me a vision of everything that you see now. It was just saying like, man, we're on a great doing something great, and they didn't even build the Fertitta Center wasn't built yet. So we on my visit, we was just visiting the old Hawthorns, and we just had to see updates of it. So we actually played our first couple of games in at TSU. But man, it's just amazing, like just to see the growth, just to see everything that he's taught. Like he really builds young men to be great leaders, not just men in the world, but leaders in the world. And you see the pipeline of he's going to push you to work hard. He's going to push you to be something that you never thought of. And me, I left early, but I still, I still leave, still have remember things that he says to me every day. And even now, it's still family, so we still have contact and things that he tells them. I'm watching the game. I'm like, I know what he's telling them, and I still, sometimes my own game nowadays, I still think of things that he says that he was what he's saying. So it's amazing to be a part of that family tree. And to see the little guys getting after it and doing good is just an amazing feeling. And it's only up. I mean, I think the next thing is the national championship. So they're putting the right pieces together, and I'm excited to see them.
So my question for you is, like you mentioned, like with everything, everything he has, like, with advice, everything you make sure to implement it. As a player too, like how important is it to have like the relationship of a coach, the trusting relationship with the player and the coach, especially going beyond the game.
Yeah, I think the relationship between player and the coach, man, it it's very important. You see the dynamics of, on senior nights for some guys, they cry and the coach cries, and it's like, man, like it's a special moment because essentially you're as a coach you're building a player up into a young man, into a leader, into a future father, future husband, future community leader. So those relationships are very important, and you're shaping the young man's future. you know. So those relationships are very important, and I'm just thankful to have so many relationships through the years of just playing with different coaches and connecting with different people. It's very important because you can lean on if you have advice on something, you can send a text and they'll give you some text back, or if you need a word of encouragement, they'll you know s- they'll just give you something to lean on. It may be quick, it may just be in passing, but those relationships are very important, and most of athletes, our coaches are real role models. We have parents, but then we also have coaches who are leaders in their communities, and those relationships are very important.
Oh, 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 yeah, oh, no. Anyway, thank you.
Oh,
So I can see you.
I said, did you get that last part? Somebody was calling me, messed up the thing. I didn't want to. Yeah.
No, I didn't get to. I didn't get it. I didn't get that part, last part yet.
Oh, well, I was basically saying just the most of our coaches are our mentors, our first real role models outside of our parents. So I was just saying that the relationships between coaches and players are very important.
Oh, okay. That's. I will say this. This podcast is raw and real, so they're gonna be having some bloopers. I will say that. This is.
Yeah.
I will say that. So, but you are absolutely right though, because here's the thing: when you get to the college, like especially when you play for the college, it's like you're away from family, so it's like you don't have like you don't have like the family with you like closer to you. So like it comes to the point where the college, I mean the coaching staff becomes like your parents, but not like your parents, but like guardians, like
Right.
hey, like they're in charge of you now. Like that's
Right.
their responsibility. But also like I think for me, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you know it's almost in ways it's very rare to find those coaches that
Yeah.
actually wants that actually like wants to see like the players that actually checks on the players like hey outside of basketball like how are you feeling, how are you doing,
Yeah.
like what I'm saying, like it's one of
Yeah.
those. But it's like, but then again, like you never hear that, or some people don't bring it up just because, like, hey, it's a working relationship, but at the same time, sometimes it's. But my question for you is though, you know, the transitioning from college to the pros. What was that like? What was that process like? Especially like how the process of the drafting to you playing in a league that a lot of people have always had dreams of playing.
Yeah, it was for me, my situation was different because it was just quick. Everything was quick. Like that was the COVID year. So we was working out from like school March. I came home like March, April, and I declared. Then it just the process was just so long. The draft went until like November. So then the season started in December. So it was just so quick, quick turnaround, and then like it was just everything was just so moving so fast. So the difference was it was definitely the physicality, the travel. You have a lot of time on your hands. But for me, I was only a sophomore when I left, so having to adjust to being a professional and seeing those different things. Yeah, but and then also we couldn't do anything because it was the COVID, so we had to get tested every day. We had
Oh
to
man,
like isolate and things like that. But it was still a surreal experience. That Yeah, it was just a surreal experience, and just being able to be a part of that, and to be able to experience that, and to be able to still keep going is truly a blessing.
man, I that COVID year was like for you. What was that like? Like especially with everybody having to play in the bubble. Like you know, did you? What was that? what was that what was that like playing in the bubble, especially like you said, COVID year, everything shut down, like the
Right.
scheduling and everything. What was that like for you, especially your first year?
It was kind of like it was. I was trying to. It wasn't like the first NBA moment, because it was different from the regular NBA moment. Like we didn't have summer league at first, so we didn't have that, and then it was just a lot of things to go into it, and then we didn't have fans. But good experience, great experience. It was it was just different.
Oh, we here.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Oh,
you.
well, oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, it was a great experience. Just the travel, everything was different, but seeing it different from now to where like you travel and the fans and the interaction and things like that. Yeah, it's definitely different. But it was, I mean, it's COVID. Everybody had to adjust.
Cause you ever like almost that it's one of those moments. The crazy thing is like you would never thought in a million years like that whole COVID year would be now in like say the history books. Like if
Right.
somebody opened up the history books, like everything happened, COVID and everything was like shut down. It's like never thought in a million years part of be
Yeah,
history, like the world, like a world history moment. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, people are definitely the kids now in the future will don't even they won't even know understand the magnitude of what actually happened.
So my question for you is, especially like, you know, you from, I found out you from like the Charlotte area. I'm learning a lot of new things. So
Okay,
from the Charlotte, you from
yeah.
The Gastonia Charlotte area. My question for you is, with Charlotte, the Gastonia Charlotte hoops area is like huge. Like the hoops like is huge. So my question for you is, what's it like to be one of the hoopers to come out of the Charlotte Gastonia area and just make it to the level like where just make it to the farthest level, but also being considered a Charlotte legend in the hoop world.
Um, I think it's a blessing. I don't take it for granted at all because growing up, I mean, we had so much talented guys. I mean, you look at those classes that have come up and everybody went. We had a lot of guys go D1, a lot of guys go to college, a lot of guys play pro, and still playing pro. And I think that it's going to be a rise coming up here soon. Out of the hoop state, North Carolina's the hoop state, but I think Charlotte and that Gastonia and those surrounding areas, the next couple of years, you're gonna see a lot more guys go to the next level and go to pro. But for me, I think it's just a blessing because anybody, there's guys that was better than me, and guys, more talented than me. So I don't, have any type of like, oh, I made it, like type of attitude. I'm just thankful that that I was able to be in this position. And yeah, salute to everybody else that has made it and everybody else that's still doing it. So I'm just so thankful that that I was chosen and that I'm continuing to work hard to be in those positions.
For sure, because I I ain't gonna lie, when I first moved to Charlotte, like just the whole basketball culture there is crazy. Like they don't play about it. And
Yeah.
I stayed in and I lived in Wilmington for the longest time. So of course, like when people hear about Wilmington, they're always like, "Oh, that's where Michael Jordan went to high school."
Right,
Like,
right, right.
yes, but the man don't even come to visit Wilmington.
Mm.
Even if there
He
was a
be
gym
giving
named
back though. He don't give back there.
man, they had a whole gym named after
Yeah.
him at the high school. Do you think this man is gonna come back to a city and go to like, hey, I got no. Man was probably still in like in the pros or just minding his business. I'm not sure, but when you hear different stories, like, yeah, I mean, people are people. Like, But people, I think, and this brings to me another topic too, that I think a lot of people need to remember that, first of all, athletes are humans first because what they do is a job. So my
Right.
question for you is, and this leads to my question is, you know, as a man and an athlete, how important is mental health to you?
Mental health is very important. I didn't coming up. I was just going. So as of recent years, I've been starting to kind of take it more seriously, and we have mental health coaches on the teams. So I'm very close in quarters with those guys and young ladies about being in those about mental health and just the importance of it and how the difference is between going from here to here and just the thinking, the thought process of the game. They say the game is played from the neck up. Like that's a real statement. Everybody's good at the pro level, but what's going to separate you is the mental health part of it and understanding that you got to have joy. You got to have count it all joy. You got to have fun with it. You can't just yes, it's your job, but you can't treat it like your job. Like if you treat it like your job, then every day's not going to be perfect. You're not going to make every shot. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to get everything you want. But if you're able to find those moments of peace and solitude and tranquility, then man, the sky's the limit. And you got to find things and find habits, hobbies that you can do outside of it that kind of brings joy. You got to connect with people that you love. You gotta be where your feet are. You got to be present. You got to be in the moment. You got to just learn little different things that's gonna keep you grounded. And me, a lot of times, me, obviously getting going from team to team. Getting released from a team and then signing with a team. Like it's so many ups and downs that you gotta really, if you get caught up into the emotion of it, then you're not gonna be successful as you want to be. But if you start just have joy regardless, I'm gonna show up, do my job, be who I'm gonna be every single day, then the sky's the limit.
Man, I like how you use the word tranquility. I was like, this day, within
Tranquility.
less than a few weeks, I've heard the word tranquility. I was like,
Yeah,
this is
tranquility. Yeah,
like, am I? I'm like, dang, am I in a little like Zen garden or some type of spa? Because
yeah.
tranquility, it's a nice little word.
Tranquility. Yeah. You felt peace as I said the word, huh?
I was like, dang. I was like, let me
Yeah.
put it like, because I haven't heard that word in so long. And then the way you said, just live in the moment. It reminds me. It's crazy because it reminds, especially like your one of your words is testimony. Like the way you said, live in the present. It reminds me of the Matthew 6:34. Worry about today. Don't let tomorrow worry about tomorrow. So
That's it. That's it. I've had to learn that plenty of times. Still learning. So it's definitely necessary.
do you hope that say like I know there's and correct me if I'm wrong, there's the stigma where men don't open up about mental health or like express their emotions. Do you hope to see like just more male athletes or men in general to be able to like speak up more about mental health without the fear of being judged or ridiculed?
Yeah. I think it should be normalized. I think it should be. I think days of just trying to be like it's a balance between trying to be a leader and be the leader that you are, and honestly, if you're a leader, you got to make sure you right. It's just like the airplane. You got to fix your mask first before you help somebody else. So if you're not in the right mental state, if you're not in the right posture, if you're not in the right state of gratitude, if you all over the place, it's going to eventually come out into your service, into how you love, how you do your professional career, how you treat your family, how you treat your friends, how you just be in the community. And I think men, we're leaders in the community. And as leaders, we have to make sure that we get ourselves right before we get somebody else right. So I think that it's very important, and I think that it should be talked about, and I think it should be normalized. And and a person that's really at peace with themselves is not going to worry about whether it's soft or it's considered, I guess, sassy or whatever. But we're just trying to. It's just something that's normalized, because if you don't get yourself right, how you gonna get the how you gonna lead the rest of your household?
That part. And it's crazy because it's crazy because like I always say like, I always say like men needs that safe space, like somebody
Yeah,
that they can like because I always say when you provide a safe space for somebody, you're basically giving them the ultimate sign of respect and appreciation where they're heard and seen.
right,
And I'm like,
exactly.
it's like it's crazy how like folks just criticize men for opening up and like so that's strength right there. Like vulnerability is essential to bringing joy. And then also like
Yeah,
even the strongest man alive, people that read the Bible, even the strongest man alive even wept, even said that Jesus wept. So
right. Yeah,
like
for sure.
but my question for you is first of all, shout out to you. I saw the gas house camp event that you had and also
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
saw the clinic that you had with,
yeah.
for your
Uh-huh.
talent is my testimony. So
Yep.
can you break down like, the origin of talent is my testimony and what inspired you to start it?
Telling my testimony, it started with in high school. My dad was just like, my dad has a whole lot of sayings that he says. I get that from him, but he's just like, man, guys, you glory to God and things like that. And he was just like, before the game, he was like, man, use your talent as your testimony. And like, for some reason, when he said that, it was just like, it stuck with me. That was back in high school. In high school, everybody want to have a saying that you put on Instagram, hashtag, So that was around the time, Russ was saying why not, and kind of had those things. But for me, TIMT, telling my testimony, then I was going to high, experiencing things in terms of recruitment stages and um, all those things in high school. When I got to college, it kind of transformed into something else. And then as a pro, it transitioned to something else. And every year, as I've said, TIMT is just transitioned to something bigger than what I started with. TIMT is just a movement. It's a feeling. It's not for everybody, but it's for those that understand that they have a talent. And with that talent comes testing, and with those testing comes testimony. But it's also, some people, it's the awakening of, you are talented, you are gifted, you do have a purpose, you do have a plan. God does have a plan for you, and you have to realize that, and finding that, going your journey to find that, whatever it is, and things like that, and then understanding that you're gonna have tests, count it all joy. So it's a compilation of those things, and also you're gonna have a test and then testimony. It's your duty to not only make it out of your test, pass your test, but also to share it to somebody else, because we're all going through something at the same time. I used to think that what I was going through in the hoop scene was just me. Like, man, it's like it ain't fair. Like, I'm working hard, I'm doing this, I'm not getting the recognition, I'm not getting this and that I want. But then, just being in locker rooms and talking to other guys and talking to other people, it's like, man, everybody going through it. And sometimes I have to remind myself, like, I'm not test. So it's just kind of a collection of things, and just telling our testimony. It's our purpose, it's our duty, it's our birthright to use our talent as our testimony, and to share our gifts with the world, to share our struggles with the world, and share our accomplishments with the world, and help somebody else overcome their own struggles and accomplishments.
Man, amen to that. I swear for goodness, man. Cause like, bruh, like I wish I had my little fan because I was like it's one of those like drop the mic, like them gems just hit,
Yeah,
it was shining and everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cause And I think I remember telling you this because it was right. It was like in the whole interview, the post game interview, because I was like thinking to myself, like when I see, I was like, who is? I was like, the man that come out, I was like, I saw this man just like he's nice and dressed and everything. I was like, is he? I was like, I've never seen him. He's like dabbing up everybody. Then I'm like over here just doing play by book, mind my business. He like, how you doing? I was like, oh, this is okay, thank you. Like I was just doing my job. Next thing I know, I was like, so I asked somebody, I was like, who is he? Like why am I? I was like, who is he? He's like, that's the person. I was like, Nate, that's Nate Hinton. Oh, I was like, you know what? Cause I would hear like the name all the time in like
Yeah,
meetings and stuff. And I'm like, I've never seen this man before in a day of my life. I don't know what
yeah,
he looks like or nothing. So like I've heard the name. So I'm
yeah,
like, okay, let me just I was like, you know what? I've done the player interviews, but I'm gonna make sure to take the time to interview this person because I was like,
yeah,
I want to know who he is behind
yeah.
beyond the court, just beyond that's because I like I said, I always say that athletes are humans first. You got to know if, especially when you like say, there's days probably the athlete, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's days probably the athletes like, man, I just want to be treated like a regular person. I just want to,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
want
For
to chill.
sure. For sure. For sure.
So like, just have a regular conversation with them. Like they don't, the whole like the fan experience. Like, oh my god, like they probably hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Like just a regular conversation. But like it's crazy because the whole interview, I was like, you know what? It was so crazy how you said, your talent is testimony. I was like, man, it's like trial tribute. God could turn the trial tribulation into a testimony.
Yeah.
So, because it's so real. Like God could turn a whole God could turn a mess into a whole message or a mess into a masterpiece for somebody.
Every time. Every time. Sometimes
So
it's meant to, sometimes the test is meant to bring out the best talent. Sometimes. Sometimes you got a talent or you talented at something, and sometimes God use that test to bring the best out of you. And you don't even know it.
that's big facts right there. I mean, come through with it with the word. So my question for you is, I noticed like I definitely see you as like an advocate of women's sports, especially women hoopers. Especially I seen how it's like, dang, he got some women hoopers with the camps too. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
here for
yeah, yeah. Nah, we might TIT might have a women's team next year. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if we're gonna make that happen.
we need another one for real. Like we need some more
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Nah, we gonna try to make that happen.
so my question for you is, what inspired you to advocate for women hoops?
Um, my first team that I played on, we had girls on our team, and growing up, it's a lot of talented young ladies that have played the game of basketball. It was I don't know if you remember, it was a couple years ago, like Forest View High School. They went to the state championship. I was young, but just seeing them play, and then going to Houston and seeing the women down there, and just seeing the WNBA, like Ivory Latta. I don't know if you
Oh,
remember her. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Fire, yeah. Like so, her and when the Charlotte Sting, me and my brother used to be a part of the kids club at the Charlotte Sting. So you used to go to the game, and you had like a select tickets that you could go to the game, and it'd be like sometimes it'd be in the middle of the day, but you used to Charlotte Sting, so you used to go over there and be a part of the kids club. You go to the games, get like free little merch and things like that. So I've always been an advocate for women's sports. The fundamentals, the game, and now it's evolving to greater heights that it's only a certain amount of time before people really get the real recognition of it. It's just I think it's on the verge of being great. And it's already great, but it's going to still continue to go up to levels and levels. So I'm excited to see where the women's sports lead to, because the talent level, the fundamentals, the tenacity, the everything is just amazing about it. And so that's why for me, being an advocate of women's sports, I'm thankful to uh have the opportunity to be able to witness that.
Man, the fact you mentioned Irie Latta, because I was telling
Yeah,
somebody the other day, I was like, somebody had. First of all, kudos to you for mentioning Irie Latta. We got people
yeah.
need to put some respect on her name. People,
So
I feel like so many people forgot how great she was, and she put UNC like. To me, she put UNC women's basketball on the map,
yeah,
like how prevalent it is and stuff.
facts.
But and she was shifty. People
All
forgot how
right,
shifty
man.
she
50
was.
a bucket and getting to it. Like she was. I ain't gonna say she was ahead of her time, but if she was in this time, box office for sure. Box office for sure. You know, another one I was just thought about. Like I used to play with Team United, and we work out in Charlotte when I was like middle school. But this was when Stephanie Watts was coming up at Weddington. I don't know if you know her,
I just
but
had her not too long ago on here.
I'm just telling you, we I was in what was it, seventh grade, maybe eighth grade, and we was doing the drills. Her dad was running the drills, and problem like we was playing pickup, like she in the drills, like and then like she played one of the high schools, crazy work, like. Yeah, like she was one of the ones. I think that was outside of Ivory Latta and seeing the storm, the sting. I think like firsthand and seeing how cold women's sports can be. Like Stephanie Watts was definitely one of those.
Man, like I literally, it's crazy because I literally had her on my podcast, and I was
Yeah,
telling her how like so the school I went to, they played against UNC, and
yeah,
I went to UNCW, and going all the way over from Wilmington to Chapel Hill, at the
yeah,
Carmichael Arena, and mind you, like the girls scored like 30 plus points on UNCW. I'm like, this is like a clinic to her. This is like a
yeah,
clinic she put on. Like I mean, did I hope that UNCW kind of pull an upset? I mean, yes, in like everybody's delusional world, like great
yeah,
thing.
you know,
But UNCW mid major, UNC. I mean, I'm a mid major person. I'm a mid major. Came from a mid
yeah,
major. You know, we love mid majors upsets against the big times, but when you playing against somebody that's a powerhouse and
yeah,
that's scoring buckets day and night,
yeah,
and you having scouts, and you have to try to figure out how to stop it, and then you even all the time you try to stop it from your scouts, it's
yeah,
like, man, this is like this is a lot of work.
yeah, for
So,
sure, for sure.
because I was, and it was crazy because you, I just want to say the fact that you mentioned two UNC legends come through with it.
Hmm.
Like, come
Yeah,
on. Can we just, I just like, it's one of those ones in the deep bag. Like, you went deep in your bag because
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot,
yeah,
a lot of people don't go deep in their bag when it comes to women's basketball or women's
yeah,
sports. They usually go for like the big names, which is that's great.
right,
Like I said, every ladder, like for me, every it's like my top ones are Maya Moore and Ivory Ladder. Those are like my I'm not gonna say 1A, 1B, but like
yeah.
one and big A. So
Nah,
like
facts. Yeah. And then
so my
when Candace Parker, she got her dunk, in the game, like that was way back when she was in college. So like those little things just like, yeah, women's sports is always on the rise.
come through with it that you remember the dunk. Come on.
Yeah,
Where
that was
come on.
that
You
was
the real
nice.
MVP. Come on, you the real
That was
MVP.
nice.
The fact that you mentioned Candace Parker dunking and she dunked at the McDonald's All American won the dunk contest.
Yo,
And she
yo,
dunked in college, like the
yeah,
first player to dunk in college, and then multiple times did it in the tournament.
yo.
Come, sir, you are the MVP for mentioning that because people don't. Oh my gosh,
People don't know.
MVP.
They don't know.
They gotta take notes from you, sir. They gotta take
Facts.
notes.
They just gotta pay attention. They just gotta pay attention.
So my question for you is when it comes to representation, and when I say representation, I mean like somebody say that look up to you as a role model or someone that gives like that just the model of this is what you hope to expect. How important is representation when it comes to being like a role model and beyond?
I think it's important. I think sometimes realize it how important our impact can be and how important our impact is. I feel like sometimes back to talking about just the as a man, finding yourself and what's finding yourself. Yeah, finding yourself in terms of your purpose and your drive. I think sometimes we get caught up in nobody's perfect. You know, nobody has the right answers. But I think once a man finds his purpose and finds his goals and finds his passion, I think that's when he takes off. So um for me, I think just having a bigger purpose now. You know, I had purpose, I had drive, I always had goal setting, but now I think it was bigger than me before, but now it's even bigger than me where it's like I have no choice, you know, because you know the kids looking up to me, or you know, kids that are about to camp. They're like, "Oh, I'm excited for next year," and it's like that's driving me now in terms of just being able to show up and be that presence. So I think it's being a role model is very important. You got a duty to show up and be who you're supposed to be for the community, for your family, your peers, and for the next generation. And so, you know, again, that goes with that testimony part of you got to show it. You know, sometimes we think it's just we just got to do what we're supposed to do, and then just like go back in the hole. It's like now you got to show it. Like young people, you never know who's looking at you. You know, sometimes I see like a kid may like follow me. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know he followed me, or I didn't know who that was, just because I just wasn't. I'm not saying I wasn't paying attention, but it's just like I wasn't as aware. But being able to be around and be like, hey man, they watching every move you do. Like you do this, you do that. It's like they watching you. So I think it's very important. You're not gonna always get it right, and they're not gonna always get it right. But I think just being able to be transparent about it and being able to just show up and be who you are, be as authentic as you can. Um, I think then everything else will be take care of yourself, and you'll be who you're supposed to be.
Amen to that. So my question for you is, if there was a word or a phrase or even a scripture, anything, if there was a phrase or a word that would describe your journey so far, what would it be and why?
Um, I think it's let us not become weary in doing well, for in due season you should reap if you do not give up or lose heart. Depending on translation, I think that scripture I think speaks to me as well as tells my testimony. I think that those two phrases speak to me and kind of um speak to who I am more than ever because um count it all joy. No, I said what I said. Count it all joy is another one. So many that I picked from. But let us not become weary in well doing. I mean that is the epitome of everything that you're gonna go through. You know, you're talented. So sometimes people think that you're talented, you have a gift that things are supposed to be smooth sailing. But we can't get weary in doing good because you still doing good. You know what I'm saying? Like you still in the race. Like if you testing, I mean you still in progress. So you can't get weary like and we're doing it well doing. Like you just can't give up. You know, like you just can't give up in the middle of the race and say, "Oh, I'm done." Like no, you gotta keep going and keep striving. Like no matter what, telling your testimony. Like you're overcoming is a talent. Like sometimes people ability to overcome time and time again is a talent. It's a skill. Like some people don't have that, but you did. You know, like so. And count it all joy, man. It's like testing trials gonna come. It's telling you. It's not telling you like, oh, it's gonna be sunshine and rain. It's telling you it's gonna be testing trials, but count it all joy. Like you still have to have joy at the end of the day, no matter what you do. And I think it took me a long time to really capture what it really means and to really take it to heart of what it really means. You know, like before I say it, So I got it tatted on my leg. You know, like it's like, oh, I got a kind. Oh yeah, let us not become weird. Like yeah, it's just a. It at first it was like, oh yeah, it's a cute saying, but it's like now as I'm going and the older I get, the more things that transpire, the more places I go, and the more times that I get back up again and go again. I think that it's become something dear to my heart. And yeah, it's become a part of my identity.
Man, let us not become weary. But I haven't heard that saying in so long. And then
Yeah,
the count it to joy. That is James 1, 2 through 4, right there.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how I be remembering, but when you when you just be like, oh man, I was like, but it's because it makes perfect sense how both like first of all three of the things like just combine one another in ways like
Yeah,
in the way he's like, oh, I have a tat on my, I'm like, hey, we know it, I mean, it's meaningful to somebody. It's meaningful to somebody. Like, yeah, I got a tattoo on me because it's meaningful to me. Like,
right,
it's more than just like, guys, it's more than just like the cute words you see people put on. It's like,
right.
it's powerful to
It's really.
like it's like when it's like one of those how like those scriptures be like when you read something like man this just hits so deep. It's like
Yeah,
people don't understand like how much hard like the whole like and how deep it hits, especially like you could be going through something right
right.
and then it's like that one word. It's like man
That one
I needed
word.
that.
You
It's
need
like
that word.
it be so like when I tell you God hears and answer prayers. Sometimes it's like sometimes I feel like in ways like we forget we living in an answer prayer at times. So
Yeah, man. You live in an answer prayer, literally, and you live in proof that God worked.
God hears the answer prayers because won't He do it? Yes, He will. So
Yes, He will. Facts.
so I always ask my guests this question, but for the men I always say it's authentic because Bonafide means authentic and unique. But for the men I always say authentic. So what makes Mr. Nate Hinton authentic, and what makes your story stands out?
I think what makes me authentic is um. It's a great question. What makes me authentic is um. Man, I'm still showing up. Uh, sometimes some things would have broke people, some things would have shook some people. People would have tapped out, but I think I'm getting stronger and stronger each time I level up. I'm getting stronger and stronger. Like each time I go through something, uh each time I go around the merry-go-round. I think I'm just getting stronger and stronger. I'm not saying I want to keep going through the merry-go-round of just everything, but I'm just saying like I feel like what makes me is I'm still showing up and I done stayed the same and I done elevated and I'm keep running it up. I think that I'm recognizing them and I'm embracing everything instead of at first I think I was kind of like why me, but now I'm like okay it's because it's on me and embracing that. So I think embracing the responsibility. To whom is given much is required. So I think embracing that element is what makes me me and authentically me.
Big facts. And I remember it was crazy because I remember asking something very similar in the in-person interview, and I was like, "Dang." You mentioned heart. Do you feel like that also plays a part too in being authentic?
Yeah,
Heart?
I think it does. I think just being able to experience things I've experienced and just being able to want to have that drive. This has been this things I've been doing. That I'm doing now has been things I've been wanting to do years ago. Like a couple years ago, but it's perfect timing now. Um, but it's because I want to be the change that I had or didn't necessarily have. I want to be able to show somebody else the way and to be able to just show up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not a lot of talks. It's not a lot of like, I'm trying to tell you how to X, Y, and Z. But sometimes just showing up and just being like, hey, I'm Nate Hinton, and like, and showing up is a big enough in some of the youth eyes and some of the people's eyes, and some of just being in the gym with somebody is like that can go a long way. You know, I wish I was in the gym with a pro growing up. I wish I was in the gym like being able to touch and be able to, you know, rub elbows with those type of people growing up. But now I'm able to be in position to, man, y'all want to get in the gym, like I'm in the gym, get some shots up, like you can come through like and just be that big brother to some of the people. And so I think that yeah, the heart for it, you know, some guys um I mean, for some people it's like, oh, it's your off season, you supposed to be in the gym by yourself, you ain't supposed to have nobody working out with you. It's like, I mean, end of the day, like you get better. And you know, why not help somebody else get better while you getting better? I mean, I think you see here guys that just be by themselves. Like you ain't planting no seeds. You ain't help nobody plant your garden. And I think you can get farther by helping somebody else out because you never know, that might be the next one, or that might be the next. They might help. They may be able to help you, um, or you may be able to help them. And the tools that you gain is like, what good is it if you just the only one that knows about it? So I mean, it's just all about planting seeds, and you never know. A small mustard seed might grow into something, to a whole, you know, something big. So yeah, my heart.
I was about to say, I was like, I wonder if he gonna mention about his heart again, because I was
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, like yeah. I mean, you know, that's a part of it. You know, I just had the heart for the people, and just I think it's just me, everything I've been through and realizing it, and just seeing like, man, like what if the lesson that I've learned, what if I can help somebody else learn that in a time shorter.
hey, it's because it's one of those things like you realize too, like not a lot of people have that trait anymore of a heart that's like big or that has the pure intentions. Like especially like you try to see the good in people, but hey, at the end of the day, God be seeing and doing, right, especially for those like that is close to Him. And, they say blessed
Yeah,
be the ones that, hey, but sir, I want to say first of all, shout out to you, sir. What you are doing, both on and off the court, for the community, but also for yourself and for talent is my testimony. Shout out to you, sir, because I wanted to give you
thank you,
your
thank you, thank you.
flowers of respect and just I think it's amazing what you're doing, and you continue to inspire so many people. Like that's real right there. That's like one of the realest gifts you could give to somebody. So I just wanted to give your flowers of respect to you, sir. So,
Thank you, thank you,
so
thank you so much.
oh, I do my best. I try. So, but keep let
Now we
the
thank
folks.
you too. So you know, you're doing a great job of just being able to be showing up and be authentically bona fide as you. You know, you're being able to share stories and being able to open up and get people to share their stories. You know, I think we're in a express themselves, and I think you being able to be in a platform, you have with the Queen City Pro Am and with the players and everything. I think you deserve flowers as well.
Oh, I was. I appreciate that. Even though the StreamYard was messing up all the things, is making it. I was like, I was trying to hear what you're saying, and StreamYard wanted to just chop it up. Like, man, thank you. I do my
No, you
best.
good.
I do my. That's all I can say is I do my best. Like me, I'm not gonna gatekeep when it comes to people's stories because I believe like every person has a testimony, every person has a story, and it can inspire. And I would say like what Kobe said, inspiration is what Kobe and Nipsey has like. Inspiration is one of the greatest gifts you could give to somebody to keep doing what they love to do.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing. So that's all I want to do is share other people's stories. I mean, if folks want to hear my story, I mean, that's cool too. But I just rather hear other people's stories. It's like that. So,
So
but
we're gonna have something cooking up soon. We might have to with TIMT Films is a media our media outlet. So we'll probably have to connect on to see how we can get your story out so that you can share your story.
oh, That the TINT films is fire. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh, they
Hey,
get
we are, we
I
on the
love
way.
Peyton like getting into the thing. I was like, oh,
We on the way. We on the way. It's just we in the beginning stages, but we're building something special here at TIMT, and always looking to expand. And so we're gonna we're gonna do our best.
hey, we living proof, ain't we? Living
And
proof
the
of
proof,
it.
there it is. There it is.
Nate, can you let the folks know how where they can find and support you if there's any upcoming events happening for you?
Yeah, man, TIMT. You can just find us on Instagram and TikTok. I mean, we're trying to build our platforms, and we'll be having some things coming up here soon. Merch is dropping soon, so be on the lookout for that. Look out for updates about the merch, and we're just gonna keep rolling. We have little things that we're gonna be building, and uh, things that we're gonna be implementing into the ecosystem. But I'm excited. It's been a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of prayer, a lot of just sitting down and getting to the drawing board. But I'm excited to see where it goes, and excited to have the community and people backing behind it, and TIMT, your challenge, your testimony. Let's do it.
Y'all heard it from the king him first. Y'all heard it from him first. Y'all be sure to check out TIMT Talent is my testimony, as it
That's what
says
it
on
is.
the Instagram. Talent is my testimony, just how it is, with no spaces. Like it says, talent is my testimony, no spaces, but everything. Yes, what he said. Y'all be sure to check that out. Also, if you're in the Charlotte area today, this week is the playoffs, so
Oh
y'all be
yeah,
sure to check.
TIMT. Shout out to TIMT when the playoff game Thursday. Come watch the show.
Hey, it's playoffs now, so you know the playoffs is heating up. So
Yeah, for sure.
closer to that trophy, y'all. So thank you guys for tuning in to Bonafide Her Podcast, episode 154. A big shout out to Nate Hinton for coming on and sharing your story. Y'all could check out the live replay of Bonafide Her Podcast, episode 154, featuring Nate Hinton after this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.